Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. There are red tiles and blue tiles in a box. The ratio of red tiles to blue tiles is 3 to 5. There are 12 more blue tiles and red tiles in the box. How many red tiles are in the box? So if we just simply write the ratio that's given to us and pay attention to labeling it, it's a 3 to 5. It's 3 red for every 5 blue. Now, the next little nugget they give us is this little nugget. So we have to kind of interpret that for what it means. 12 more means that we're adding 12 to something. Well, what are we adding 12 to? What are there more of? Now, there are more blue tiles than there are red tiles. So that means we have to put a number in for red, add 12 to it, and that will give us blue. So R plus 12 equals B. Now, my suggestion is to take each answer choice, substitute it in because let's face it, they're talking about how many red tiles. These are all supposed to represent the number of red tiles. We're going to add 12 to that number, get a blue number, and see if it's equivalent to this 3 to 5 ratio. Now, since most people are more comfortable with the ratio written in this format, I think we should just rewrite it over here, 3 to 5. So that's a red to blue ratio. And what we'll do is we'll see if some of the other ratios we come up with are in fact equivalent to that. So let's try choice A. If we substitute that in for red and we add 12 to it to get blue, because remember there's supposed to be 12 more blue, this plus this would equal 30. So that means we have an 18 to 30 ratio, 18 red and 30 blue. Now what we'd want to explore, are these two ratios equal? That's what we're wondering. So as it turns out, this is compatible with this. We should take advantage of that because that would make it a little bit easier, but we could also check the cross products. But in this case, let's take advantage of that. Since 3 times 6 does equal 18, does 5 times 6 equal 30? Because if you're saying yes, it does, then it appears as though choice A would be the answer. Now, another thing I want to just remind folks of, because let me move this out of the way and this out of the way, you want to check your cross products. So if we check this cross product right here, that would be 3 times 30, which would be 90. If we multiply the other cross product, which is 5 being multiplied with 18, does that also equal the same thing? And if the cross products match, then the ratios are equivalent. Now, before you choose choice A, you want to make sure that the other choices are definitely wrong. So let's look at choice B. Because remember, we're taking red, we're adding 12, and that's supposed to equal blue. There's 12 more blue than there are red. If we take choice B and substitute it into our little equation here, we're saying we have 20 red, and if we have 12 more blue, we'd add 12 to that, and that would equal 32 blue. Well, let's compare that. Remember, our ratio is a 3 to 5 ratio. We're saying there's 3 red for every 5 blue. Is a 20 to 32 ratio equivalent to a 3 to 5 ratio? So let's see if it is. We can check the cross products. This cross product right here, we'd have to check to see if that is the same thing as this cross product. Now the blue cross product, we can do that in our head. That's equal to 100. Does this times this also equal 100? And if it does, then they would be equivalent to each other. Now, that would be a problem if we had two ratios that were equivalent to each other. So I'm hoping that you kind of see where we're going with this. But what would a conscientious student do? They would probably check 30 and 48. You would substitute this into the place of R, add 12 to it, to see what happens to the ratio. All right, but hopefully you fully understand what's going on here, why we're adding 12, where these numbers came from. If not, might not be a bad idea to replay this video.